Hey everyone, just a quick announcement. I know we said we were going to have a test this week. I am moving it to next week, next Thursday. So we will review next week and go over the topics that it will be on. So I just wanted to let you all know the test has been moved. That being said, if you go to your Schoology and you go to this week, you can find our assignment here. It's called 1022 Macromolecules, Lipids, and Carbs. The document can be found here, and these videos are attached for you to view. The first one is an overview of the 4 different molecules, and then we have lipids and carbs, which are the 2 molecules that we'll talk about today, and we'll talk about the other 2 tomorrow. So when you open your document, it looks like this, and we will get started. So we have been talking about chemistry and living environment, so we're going to continue that conversation now. We're going to look specifically at the macromolecules or biomolecules that we can find in our cells. They are lipids, carbs, proteins, and nucleic acids. So we're going to look at lipids and carbs today. Our aim reads, what is the function of macromolecules? And our do now says, how can we identify organic molecules? So take a moment to pause here and think back to what we've been discussing the last few days and answer your do now on your worksheet. Press play when you're ready to move on. So how can we identify organic molecules? Well, we know that in order to be considered organic, they must contain carbon and hydrogen atoms. Some vocabulary for today. A monomer is a molecule that can be bonded to other identical molecules to form a polymer. A polymer is a large chain-like molecule made of monomers. So monomers are single units. Mono means one, so they are just single molecules, while a polymer, poly means many, so it's many monomers bonded together to create larger chain-like molecules. A lipid is an organic molecule made of fatty acid and glycerol. They are stored for long-term energy consumption. A carbohydrate is an organic molecule made of sugars used for quick energy consumption. So lipids are stored for energy consumption at a later time, and carbs are a quick way to get energy in our body. So some things to note for today. You can watch this macromolecules video now if you want an overview of all 4 of the molecules. But macromolecules are molecules made from smaller molecules. So lipids are fats, carbohydrates are sugars, proteins and nucleic acids such as DNA and RNA. Fats store energy. So another name for lipids is fats. So if you hear me say fats, I mean lipids. If you hear me say lipids, I mean fats. They are interchangeable. They mean the same thing. So fats store energy. Fat molecules are very concentrated and store twice as much energy as carbohydrates. Fat cushions and insulates our bodies. So you saw before that I said lipids are for long-term consumption and carbs are quick. Fats are long-term because they store more energy, and therefore we have that backup energy to use. So carbs are used as a more quick way to get energy. Fats are made up of 1 glycerol and 3 fatty acids. They have a phospholipid cell membrane. All that means is the barrier between the cell and the outside of the cell. So it is very specific in what it allows in and out of the cell. Lipids in your body can be found within our hormones, so testosterone, estrogen, insulin, and cholesterol. And here you can now watch the video on lipids. So while this is playing, I suggest you look at the organizer, which actually I had to turn into a chart on your worksheet because due to editing restrictions and formatting problems on the OneDrive. I wasn't able to get the original organizer that I wanted, so I turned it into a chart for you guys. But you'll see later the organizer that I am talking about. So the organizer is really just a chart on your worksheet. So carbohydrates, their short-term function is used to get quick energy. Their building blocks are simple sugars or glucose. C6H12O6 is the chemical formula for glucose or sugar. There are 3 types of carbs. So we have a monosaccharide, which is single sugars. Examples of that would be glucose and fructose. So again, mono means one, so that means that it is one molecule. So up here in the top right corner, this is glucose. You can see that it is one molecule. Disaccharides are double sugars, so sucrose and table sugar. So you can see here the 2 sugar molecules bonded together to create a disaccharide. And then a polysaccharide is many sugars. So poly again means many. Examples of that would be starch, which is found in plants. That's where they store their energy, and glycogen, which can be found as the energy storage in animals. And right here, you can see 3 different sugar molecules bonded together to create that polysaccharide. So now you can take this opportunity to watch the video on carbohydrates and continue filling in your organizer. So, like I've been saying, the independent activity for today is to complete the graphic organizer on lipids and carbohydrates. This was the original organizer that I had created for you guys, but unfortunately, due to editing and formatting issues, I created the chart on your worksheet. So you can pause here and you can complete your independent activity, and then you can come back and press play for the wrap up. So our wrap up today is, are lipids and carbohydrates organic or inorganic? How do lipids and carbohydrates affect our body? So knowing what we know about organic and inorganic substances, we know that lipids and fats are organic because they contain carbon and hydrogen atoms, and our body makes these molecules. How do they affect our bodies? Well, lipids are fats and carbs are sugars. So they affect our bodies because they provide energy after they're broken down in our digestive system. Carbs provide quick energy, while fat is stored for later use and long-term energy consumption. So that's our lesson for today. On the next slide, I will show you the answers to the worksheet that you completed, and you can check your answers and then of course make sure to submit. So in the directions, I said to submit the assignment instead of sharing. There has been a couple issues with making sure all of the information is transferred over. So please hit submit in Schoology when you are done. And that's it, guys. I will see you tomorrow.